No. Okay. Oh boy.
Anybody reset or burned it out?
I don't know. I'm trying to reach the judge.
Position 2 is a medical reset.
Oh, okay, great. The judge is signing on now.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
All right, we're ready to start.
Yes, Your Honor.
And number 2, reset medical.
It's a reset date. It's Bridgewater.
The reset date for the number 2 is going to be tomorrow. However, the reset date for the SAP calendar is December the 8th.
And you said position number 2 is tomorrow.
It's going to be tomorrow, a medical reset for tomorrow.
Thank you. All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Judge Regina Mincy, and this is our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is the calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we're able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and/or a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I'm going to begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. I want to remind the defendants that you have certain constitutional rights. The first one being the right to have an attorney to represent you at these proceedings, which most of you already know who your attorneys are. And the second constitutional right is that I want to remind you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrences of your case can and will be used against you. The prosecutors are here, they're listening. Govern yourselves accordingly, and as always, listen to your attorneys. All right, who do we have first?
Position number 7,
All
Ms.
right,
Wharton at the South Annex, Your Honor.
okay. All right, this is 22 CR 007848Y, Jasmine Worthens. You're charged with 1 count of simple battery and a 2nd count of disorderly conduct. The offense date is November 16th, 2022. Pre-trial?
She got 9 cycles. She been in jail since August for simple battery, criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. Before that was a July arrest for simple battery, May, simple battery, family violence. 2021, criminal damage to property. She got 3 years probation for that, first offender, so she's still on first offender for that. April 2021, battery DV. 2020, simple assault trespass. 2019, simple battery conviction. The whole history violence.
All right. And hi, ASG, sorry, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Your Honor. How are you?
Good to see you back.
You as well. Thank you.
Okay.
Your Honor, in this case, this incident actually took place yesterday. We are still trying to obtain the report. However, from the incident location, which is 185 Central Avenue, that does appear to be the courthouse or somewhere inside the courthouse. In this case, the defendant punched the victim, whose name is Aviance, that's AVIONSE, last name Anderson. She punched the victim in the head. As we've heard from pretrial, the defendant's history is, I have a complete violent history, ag assault arrest, simple battery convictions, battery family violence convictions. There is an arrest, or yes, an arrest from July of this year that actually resulted in a conviction. You, Your Honor, set a $5,000 surety bond on that case. And then the next month she was arrested again. So due to her violent history, risk of reoffending, the state is recommending a $15,000 surety bond. That's $10,000 on the simple battery, $5,000 on the disorderly conduct, no contact with the victim, 1-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Nothing further, Judge.
All right. And is that Mr. Lynch for the PD?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. So Miss Worthens, she's 28 years old. She does reside in College Park. She does struggle with homelessness, excuse me. She does have some support from her father. I looked into the case that she's held on Odyssey, and it seems that this was a case that started out as a felony, but has been subsequently transferred to state court as a misdemeanor. I'm not sure whether the solicitor's office has any information about whether that case may be appearing on a calendar coming up. And I'm not sure if I would be able to get appointed to that if it were. But Your Honor, we would ask that you set a much lower bond than that. She's obviously not going to be able to make a $15,000 bond. I believe she's held on approximately a $40,000 bond on the case that has apparently been transferred to state court. We would ask that Your Honor set bonds that she has some chance of making, if not a signature bond in this case. She certainly, she has a history of working. She has worked at Chick-fil-A in the past, but obviously she's been incarcerated some amount of time, so she does not have an income at this time.
And Your Honor, briefly, the reason why the state is going so high on this bond is because of the defendant's violent history. She has made bond in the past. In one case, she had a $3,000 cash bond, another case, $5,000 surety, and she continues to pick up charges, 3 this year. So that's why we're going so high and asking for a $15,000 surety bond.
Okay. I am going to order the $15,000 surety bond. That is $10,000 on the first charge, $5,000 on the second. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Aviance Anderson. I'm going to order and I know I did not hear this, but I guess we're not talking about a stay away from the courthouse. I guess she would have to come back for some business. And, sometimes I say, don't come unless you have court, and put a limitation on it. But it's up to the state. If you're not asking for any limited contact, only for her court dates, don't come to the courthouse at any other time, or maybe to meet her attorney. I can do that, or just do nothing as far as a stay away from.
Or should we say for official business? Usually that's the term.
That's fine. That's fine, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll say, Ms. Worthens, you cannot come to the courthouse unless you're here on official business regarding your cases and or to see your attorney, or if you have a court date for a court appearance. But other than that, you should not be at the courthouse. And I'm going to again say no further contact with the victim, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And that will be it for the order of the court today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
This is position 5, Mr. Patrick.
Case number 22 CR 007844Y. Is it Eric Patrick? You're charged at 1 count of simple assault, family violence, and the 2nd count of criminal trespass, both with the offense date of 11/16/2022. Pretrial.
12 total. Last arrest was 2017 FTA out of Smyrna. It doesn't say what the charge was. I'm assuming driving. Reckless driving conviction 2016. DUI suspended license 08. So that's pretty much it. He was recommended.
Okay. Ms. Sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place at 3132 Desert Drive in East Point. Officers were dispatched to the incident location regarding a dispute, and upon their arrival, they saw the defendant actively throwing items outside of an apartment. The defendant then slammed the apartment door closed, and that's when the victim, whose name is Sheena, spelled Shena, last name Thompson, she opened the doors for officers and allowed them to enter. Once inside, they observed multiple damaged items, holes in the walls, and the refrigerator was removed. It had actually been thrown on the lawn outside. The victim told officers that the defendant had been drinking and he threatened to kill her. So she ran inside of a closet out of fear, and the defendant was arrested. And Your Honor, a gun was taken from the defendant's person. As we've heard from pretrial, there is a 2017 FTA. I also saw a 2016 DUI that was reduced to reckless. That was a guilty conviction, a 2008 DUI guilty conviction. The victim in this case informed our office that the defendant has a drinking problem and he becomes violent when he drinks. And this was not the first incident. As such, Your Honor, the state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond. That's $2,000 on the simple assault family violence, $1,000 on the criminal trespass, no contact with the victim, to stay away from the incident location until the victim can move out, because she does plan on moving this week, a one-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Nothing further.
All right. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Eric Patrick is 42 years old, and he is Atlanta-born native. He has 2 children who are 6 and 17, and he has to take care of them financially as well. He has been working at Spot 11 as a team member for full time. He drives the shuttle. He completed up to 11th grade, and he also have a certificate from dental school. And Your Honor, this place, 3132 Desert Drive, is my client's own place. His name is on the lease, and my client believes that Miss Shena Thompson is no longer there. So once we verify with the law enforcement officer that she does not reside there, I would like to ask my client to return home, and also no further contact with her is absolutely okay with my client. And we would like to request for a signature on bond, as he was recommended for that. Unsecured judicial relief is what he deserves, and we would like to request for that. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to order the $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to order that there be no further contact with the victim, Sheena Thompson. I'm going to also order that there be a temporary stay away from the 3132 Desert Drive until the defendant can return with law enforcement to ensure that the victim has in fact vacated the apartment, and if there are no belongings there of hers, no clothing or personal items, then the defendant can reside in that location. If not, he will have to reside somewhere else until she is able to fully vacate the apartment. I'm going to order the one-day anger awareness course, pre-trial. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I think that is it. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further.
Will you break that bond down again, Judge?
I'm sorry, 2,000 on the first charge of simple assault, 1,000 on the criminal trespass.
Thank you.
Question, ma'am, or Your Honor.
Yes.
If it's my place of work.
Please,
Oh, okay, sorry.
I strongly recommend you to stay silent. You got the signature on bond, which is one of the best. And unless
If I could just, let me clarify that stay away, because I think that's what the question sounds like it's going to be.
I just want to get my work clothes.
Hold on. When you go back or when you're released, you need to arrange with an officer, law enforcement, to go back with you.
Yes,
You're
ma'am.
not to return on your own.
Wow.
And when you go back there with law enforcement escorting you,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
will make sure, and they will make sure with you, that the victim does not reside there and she's been able to move.
Okay.
I heard one person say that she may already be gone. Another one
No.
said she may be out this Friday. She may need another week. But when you go there, if her belongings are still there, then you should not reside there. And then you'll have to arrange for law enforcement to go back with you a second time to ensure that before you start residing there. Now, what I can add is a law enforcement escort to retrieve some items. If you need that, when you get there, add that to Ms. Bridgewater.
Okay,
If the victim is still residing there, say tomorrow or the next day, that he can go back with that escort to get clothing and items, personal items for work, as he stated. And then if he wants to return on Saturday or Sunday or even Monday of next week to be sure she is fully vacated, then you can do that, sir. But you must take law enforcement with you. Do not go back by yourself, or else you'll be rearrested, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Your
Okay.
Honor, we're asking for at least Monday. The victim
Okay.
said she will be out this week, but we're asking for the weekend, and Monday would be fine.
I think it is to be safe if you can wait till Monday, because it is difficult sometimes getting that police escort. If you can just wait till Monday, and then you just have to go back once, and hopefully you can stay because she will already be vacated. Because if you go back tomorrow or the next day with them, you're going to have to arrange for them to go back with you again.
I wonder, just arrange when they do come, I mean, whenever they go, I'm supposed to go back to work tomorrow, Friday from 12 to 8. And I can go and stay at my parents' house and don't have to go back there at all until, until like, if I need something from the house, I will call 911 or call whoever to have an escort to make
But
sure.
don't call 911. Don't tie up 911 asking for an escort. There's a non-emergency number, and you
Okay,
need to get that number, but do not call 911, okay? Because I don't want someone may need 911 and you're tying them up with, I need an escort. I don't want them to be angry with you over that, okay?
I
So
understand that.
there's a non-emergency number. Look that up to call for arranging for an escort to meet you there, okay?
And my parents is elderly, they 75, 70, 70, 74, 75 years old, and they get around, they still drive, they travel, so they was gonna come and help me. If I can get out today, just like sometime today, they could go and get the stuff for me, so I don't have to even go over there.
Well, if she's okay with your parents going, I know these things can be a little tenuous at times and a little sticky about that. I don't know if Sorry is aware of that. I don't like to usually order other people to get involved, but if you're okay and clear, now let me say this: if your parents get there and she says, "I don't want you all here," then they need to leave as well, and just wait till Monday.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe buy you a pair of pants at Walmart and suffice until Monday, and do what you need to do so that you don't get in trouble.
Yeah, I was just gonna actually have my mom to go and get the stuff for me and just get.
Said if the victim allows her to be there. The
Your
victim
Honor.
may not feel safe with that. You see where I'm going with that? The victim may not feel safe with your parents. If she opens the door and then you run in, she may not be safe with that. So your parents should not get that involved. And I know they're elderly, but we want the victim to be safe until she can safely, move her things and exit that apartment.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
maybe they can call her if they're used to talking to her and ask her if she's comfortable. If she's not comfortable, then everybody just needs to wait till Monday to be on the safe side.
Yes,
All right.
I have actually has spoken to her, and she said she's gonna give the keys to my mom.
Well, right now you cannot speak to her.
No, this is before I found out this house. So yes, of course, yes, ma'am.
Well, listen to me. Things have changed, and now you're on a bond condition of no further contact with her.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
only your parents can call her to see if they can come by and get some of your items. But I really recommend everybody just cooling down, making sure everything is calm, making sure she's safe and she's out of that location and somewhere where she doesn't have to have any bond violations or interaction with you. And if everyone can just hold off, it's only a few days, and wait until Monday, I think that'll be the best advice.
Yes, ma'am. I can stay with my parents until their time. So.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Position 6, Winters.
This is case number 22 CR 007842A, Jaquarius Winters. You're charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting. The offense date is 11/16/2022. What do you have pretrial?
7 total. Last arrest was in October for shoplifting. 22 CP 213449 is an open shoplifting in Superior Court. Hold on.
You're looking very ghostly on the screen, by the way.
Oh, okay.
We can only see you from your eyebrows up.
Okay.
And
I'll
it's
just-
going in and out. That's okay.
Was arrested in May for possession of drug-related objects and criminal trespass. 2018 probation for marijuana. Financial transaction card theft, possession of meth. He got a conditional discharge for that in 2016. Probation violation, entering auto, 2016, phase to appear. Probation again from 2016. He got first offender for the entering auto. That's it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Laurie.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place at Kroger, located at 2300 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell. The defendant and his accomplice, whose name is Jennifer Wilkie, that's Jenifer, last name Wilkie. They both were seen on video loading multiple foods and goods into 2 separate shopping carts, and the 2 of them left out of the store with the shopping carts and without paying for the items. Officers were dispatched to this incident location, and they saw the defendant outside near the store and attempting to walk away from the shopping carts that were filled with items. He had already even put some of these items into a car. The total of the items were around $330, and the co-defendant was no longer on the scene. Your Honor, as we've heard from pretrial, the defendant does have a history of theft convictions. He was just here last month for theft by shoplifting. Again, that's open in Superior Court, and there was a $5,000 surety bond, and he is here today, a month later. The state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond to stay away from the incident location, no contact with the co-defendant, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Nothing further.
All right, Mr. Lynch.
Your Honor, Mr. Winters is 28 years old. He is currently enrolled at AIU for audio production. He does currently work at a landscaping company as well, which is BCW Landscaping. He does have share custody of his 2-year-old son, and he is desperately trying to get out to try to make sure he doesn't lose that landscaping job that I mentioned. He is a Roswell resident, full-time or lifetime Atlanta area resident, graduated from Centennial High School. He does have strong ties to the community. He does teach skateboarding classes at the local skate park there. And we would ask Your Honor to consider a signature bond in this case so that he can try to maintain his employment so that he can continue to support his son. In lieu of that, Your Honor, we'd ask that you set no more than a $1,000 surety bond in this case so that he may have some chance of being able to make that bond. He doesn't have a whole lot of outside support in order to do that. He is in danger of losing his job.
Well, the allegations of shoplifting are there with an open case. And the open case had a $5,000 surety bond. Is that correct, Ms. Sawyer?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And so here we are a month later with another shoplifting case. And I understand their allegations, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a surety bond of $3,500 surety bond. I'm going to order a stay away rather from Kroger at 2300 Holcomb Bridge Road. Just don't go back there at all while you're on bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I guess that's it. Anything else that the state requested? I don't believe there was Anything?
Yes, Your
Dr.
Honor, I had a no contact with the co-defendant whose name is Jennifer Wilkie.
Okay, and let's say, I'm assuming that's not anyone, I don't know, is Mr. Winters residing with her, or do we
Your
know?
Honor, I believe that may be someone he's in a relationship with. I'm not sure if they reside together or not, but we would just ask that you not set the stay away for Miss Winters or Miss Wilkie. Sorry.
Ms. Wilkie?
And as she is a co-defendant for this very charge, that's why we're asking for no contact.
Mr. Lynch, can you ask your client if he resides with Ms. Wilkie? Do they reside together?
Mr. Winters, you can answer that question.
I visit her, and with the whole incident, everything was given back to the officer.
No. There was one question asked.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you reside with Ms. Wilkie?
No.
Okay, that's all we need to know. So I'm gonna order no further contact with the accomplice, Ms. Jennifer Wilkie. So you're not to go around her right now. You both have this open case. Mr. Winters, I'm assuming you don't have any children together. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, all right, so you wouldn't have any reason to have to go around her per se at the moment. So I'm ordering no further contact with her, Ms. Wilkie, and I'm also ordering you to stay away from the Kroger, 300 Holcomb Bridge Road. You'll have to go, hopefully, shopping somewhere else. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And that's a 3,500 surety bond. All right.
You're done.
And that will conclude. I think, Mr. Lynch, I don't know if your attorney's gonna want you to ask any more questions.
So, Mr. Winters, I would advise against making any statements at this point. I think the judge has made her order. It's that would be my advice. And I will come visit you and talk to you more about what we can do here.
All right, you're done. Position 4, Moody.
Your Honor, that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Have a good one, Mr. Lynch. Thank you.
Thank
All right, Joseph Moody. This is 22 CR 007846D. You're charged with 1 count of DUI, less safe, or driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe. That offense date is 11/16/2022. Pre-trial.
19 total between Georgia and Alabama. I see an open container arrest from 2011 out of Alabama. I'm looking for the DUI stuff first. Do you have any other DUI? Yeah, he got a DUI from 1990 conviction. Last arrest, 2015, disorderly conduct, simple battery in a public transit vehicle or station. Before that was a 02 simple battery that was not presented to grand jury. Everything else is like 20 years or older.
All right. All right, Ms. Sorry.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place between Martin Luther King and Fulton Industrial Boulevard. Officers were patrolling the area when the defendant was seen traveling westbound on MLK. The tag of his vehicle was ran and the registration came back suspended. The defendant was stopped, and upon making contact with him, the officer observed bloodshot, watery eyes and smelled an odor of alcohol coming from his breath. The defendant did admit to having a shot of vodka in a 24-ounce beer, and the defendant agreed to conduct or to perform fields, which did indicate clues of impairment, and implied consent was read, Your Honor, and the defendant agreed. His blood alcohol content level came back at 0.069, which is not above the legal limit, which is why we are charging this case as less safe and not per se. Regarding this incident, Your Honor, it did take place at 8:45 in the morning on yesterday. So that's a work day, and that's during heavy peak hours where most people are out on the road. So his blood alcohol level being that high at 8:45 is concerning. The state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And Your Honor, that's considering that 1990 DUI conviction and the open alcohol container in 2011. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor, 1990 conviction is very remote. And Your Honor, 2011 is also very remote. Mr. Moody is 57 years old, a native Atlanta, Georgia person. He has a one child who is 37 years old, and he's widowed, so he's residing with his daughter. His parents are all deceased. He has a part-time job at United Van Line. It's a moving company, and he's been working there for 36 years. And during the winter time, he only gets to work 1 or twice per week because there are not that many people who are moving during the winter. So especially during the holidays and New Year's, he's indeed qualified for public defender service. And he graduated from high school. We would like to ask for signature on bond considering his finance, and we would like, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for maximum $1,000 to bond. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to order the $3,000 surety bond. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And as far as driving, you must have a valid driver's license through DDS in order to drive while he's on bond. I guess that will conclude. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further from the state.
All right.
Position 3 flag.
All right, this is 22 CR 007847G. Derek Flagg, you're charged with 1 count of loitering or prowling, 2nd count of criminal trespass, both with the offense date of 11/16/2022. Pretrial.
38 total. Last arrest was 2019 probation. On probation for burglary with intent, 1st degree. That's 14 SC 126264. 2014, they gave him 15 years probation for that. I think he got a probation hold too. Let's see what we got. Yeah, he does have a probation hold. Last arrest was 2019 for probation. Forgery 4th degree conviction 2019. Probation violation and burglary from 2014. 2014 theft by taking, giving false name. 2013 criminal trespass, theft by taking. 2013 probation, came off of 07 burglary conviction. And 07 trespass, simple assault conviction.
All right, Ms. Sawyer.
Yes, Your Honor. The incident took place at 123 Thurkeld, that's THIRKELD Avenue in Atlanta. Officers were dispatched regarding a vandalism call that occurred on yesterday. The victim in this case, whose name is Dominique Arnold, he informed officers that he had camera footage of the defendant and another person outside of the victim's property, and that other party threw a rock inside of the victim's home and shattered the window. The defendant was seen near the victim's home once again today. As we've heard from pretrial, this defendant does present a risk of reoffending due to the multiple burglary arrests. There's even a conviction for burglary, the multiple probation violations, the theft by takings. Your Honor, the state's recommendation in this case is a $2,000 surety bond. That's $1,000 on each charge to stay away from the incident location and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Nothing further.
Okay. Oh, Ms. Gant?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Derek Flagg is 66 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He does have a sister in the area, Your Honor. However, she is unable to assist him with bond. Mr. Flagg is not working. He last worked as a dishwasher back in July of 2022. Mr. Flagg completed high school and, Your Honor, he denies the allegations. He is presumed innocent. I'm requesting a signature bond on Mr. Flagg's behalf. I do acknowledge his history. However, the burglary conviction was back in 2014. He certainly is indigent, and that would factor into some of the probation violations. And of course, his last contact with law enforcement was in 2019. It is for these reasons, Your Honor, I'm requesting a signature bond for Mr. Flagg, or the lowest bond possible. Thank you. And we are unopposed to any stay away conditions.
All right. I'm going to order a $3,000 surety bond. And I ordered, I'm sorry, $2,000 surety bond, $1,000 on each charge. And that's 2,000 surety bond, 1,000 on each charge. And I did not hear, or I may have missed it. What type of location is this at 123 Thurl? Is it a residence or is it a business?
It's a residence, Your Honor. It's under construction, but it is a residence.
Oh, okay. And a stay away from that location. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing from the defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Nothing further from the state.
Oh, you done. Position 1.
This is case number 22 CR 007843H. Sit Tamura Azazov, and I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name.
Yes, ma'am. I go by Sam.
All right, you're charged with 1 count of DUI, less safe, a 2nd count of reckless driving, and a 3rd count of driving window tint violation. All 3 offenses occurred on 11/16/2022. Pre-trial?
First.
Okay. All right, Ms. Sari?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, officers responded to 3393 Peachtree Street in Atlanta regarding an accident call. The defendant, who was the at-fault driver, when officers came in contact with him, he had an odor of alcohol coming from his breath, and he did not appear to have any injuries, but his eyes were bloodshot, watery, and he had slurred speech. The defendant did admit to drinking a beer at his job prior to driving, and the defendant is only 19 years old, so therefore he is under the legal age of drinking. Officers did also note that regarding this accident, that the defendant's vehicle had been traveling 93 in a 45, and then he also had the illegal tints. Fields were conducted, and he did display clues of impairment. He initially stated he would agree to implied consent, but then he revoked that agreement. Your Honor, the state's recommendation in this case is a $5,500 surety bond. That's $3,000 on the DUI, $2,000 on the reckless, and $500 on the window tint. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Timur Azizov is 19 years old. He was born in Russia, but has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 18 years with his family. He graduated from high school and he has been accepted to Georgia State. He will be enrolling in January to pursue a degree in business administration. He is currently employed at Five Guys. He has only been in that position for the past 2 weeks. Therefore, he is still on probation and at risk of losing his job. He strongly denies the allegations. He is presumed innocent. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Azizov's behalf, as this is his first arrest. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then I would ask for a more reasonable bond, a bond of no more than $1,500, and that would be $1,000 for the DUI and $250 for the remaining counts. Thank you, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, the state does recognize that this is the defendant's first arrest. However, he does present a risk and a significant danger to the community. Regarding this incident, he was going 93 and a 45. It was a DUI arrest and it did result in an accident. So we will ask for you to keep that in mind when making your ruling. Nothing further.
And again, Your Honor, these are allegations. He's presumed innocent.
All right. What about family contact here? I heard a job, 19 years old. What about family contact, Ms. Scant?
He states that his entire family lives in the Alpharetta, Georgia area, Your Honor. And he's working Five Guys, which is a fast food restaurant. He has only been there for 2 weeks.
Does he qualify pre-trial?
He sent through the jail, I guess.
The report that I received says meets criteria for unsecured judicial release.
Jail.
I wanted some monitoring since he is just 19. And I have some concerns about the speed as well and the DUI at 19. I'm going to order a $5,500 surety bond with the $3,000 on the DUI, $2,000 on the reckless, $500 on the window tint. And I tell you what, I'll split it and make it 500 signature and 5,000 signature and 500 5,000 surety and 500 signature on that window tint. So it'll be a split bond. I'm sorry, Miss Bridgewater. I'll start over.
Yes,
For you, Miss Bridgewater. I thought about it. I said she's scratching out at this point. Let me do a split bond. And on the first two charges, 3,000 and 2,000, that'll be a $5,000 surety bond. And then on the third charge, a $500 signature bond.
Through the jail?
Through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, obviously, or weapons while you're on bond, Mr. Azizov. And you can only drive if you have a valid driver's license through DDS.
Totally understand.
All right. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the state.
Judge Mensa, you said the last two charges is 5,000 through SOB jail?
No,
500.
the SOB jail is 500. I was getting tongue tied with my fives today. 500 SOB jail for the third charge of the window tint. And then the first two are 5,000, 3,000 on the DUI, 2,000 on the reckless. So that's a 5,000 surety and 500 signature through jail.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry for the confusion there.
No problem. All right, we're completed here in courtroom 2, Judge.
All right, thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You do the same.
All right, we'll reconcile real quick with all these cases we have, Ms. Bridgewater.
Oh, yes. Okay, once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be December 8th. Position number 1 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $5,500 split bond. Position 2 is a medical reset till tomorrow. Position 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 total good bond. Position 4, SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a $3,500 good bond. And position 7, reset to the SAP calendar with a $15,000 total good bond. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Nope, you did good.
All right, great. Everyone
All
have
right.
a good one.
Have a good afternoon.
All
All
right,
right, bye-bye. Thank you.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.